I'd like to mention with grateful heart that I spoke with Al Smith's son this morning, and he gave me permission to do what I'm doing with the book that we are now looking at, A Treasury of Hymn Histories by Alfred B. Smith. Alfred Smith's son, named David, is now one who distributes through his Al Smith Ministries this book, along with recorded CDs that were recorded before the passing of Al Smith in 2001. And I would like to direct you to their website. It's called livinghymns.org. I've placed a link under this video in the video description area regarding their website. Please check it out. Please purchase some of the items that they have, including this book, A Treasury of Hymn Histories. And now this story by Alfred B. Smith. Perhaps no song that I have ever been permitted to have part in writing has traveled the world so quickly and gained as many friends, both young and old, as has this little gospel chorus. It was written in public in the early part of the 1960s. It was given a concert at a little Baptist church in a place called Laurelton. The first half of the program had been completed, and before the concluding half, there was a time given for announcements and the offering. It was often my custom in those days to use this time to write an original song with a title supplied by someone in the audience. That night the title was suggested by a teenager who called out, "His banner over me is love." We had just finished singing Faith is the Victory, in which the second stanza begins with, "His banner over us is love." I am sure that this line had appealed to her, and so she had thought it worthy to be used as a title for the song I would endeavor to write. Though the church was filled, it was not a very large one, which meant the offering would not take long, and I would not have long to write down my ideas. So, in a matter of a few minutes, a very simple melody had been composed and 2 phrases of words written, which were to be repeated 3 times. I then ended with the words of what is now the title, "His banner over me is love." There was great enthusiasm as the song was introduced that night. Little did I dream that this was the beginning of a song in which people young and old from all over the world would take part in writing literally dozens of new stanzas. As is so often the case, it is not up to the composer to say if a song will succeed or not. The final vote always is in the hands of the people. I must confess that when His Banner Over Me was written, I felt that it would have a one-night stand and would be forgotten within a few days. How wrong I was, for soon I was receiving requests for copies from people who had heard it sung by some of the young people who had attended the concert that night. These requests I hurriedly filled with copies I made on my duplicator. To keep track of where the song had been written, I put B.C. Laurelton Baptist Church, Laurelton, 1965, on them. At the time, I did not bother to put my name on it as the composer. Soon the requests increased, and people also began asking for the song by B.C. Laurelton. And so, in 1969, when I finally had a music plate made for printing, I decided why not use the name B.C. Laurelton as a pen name. Fanny Crosby had used some 100 fictitious names in her songs. This would also be of help. I had made some changes in the arrangement and had included some of the new verses that had been sent to me, and so I could add revised and arranged by Alfred B. Smith. This has proven both an enjoyment and an embarrassment to me. An enjoyment in that I can listen to the song being sung and know that it is being sung because Christians, particularly the boys and girls, enjoy singing it. And it is not being sung because the composer is present. The embarrassment has been when folks asked the address of Mr. Laurelton so that they may write and thank him for the song. Someday it'll be interesting to find out just how many different sets of words have been written for this little action song. But in the meantime, I feel sure that it would easily win the prize for having more co-authors than any other song ever written. Alfred B. Smith. Yea, they shall sing in the ways of the Lord, for great is the glory of the Lord. Psalm 138:5. And now the song by B.C. Laurelton, revised and arranged by Alfred B. Smith. If you want to do the hand motions as I sing, there's even directions for doing so. Point up with index finger, hit left palm with right fist, point to self, arms extended above head, fingertip touching, arms thrown around chest implying a hug. Won't sing all the stanzas, but we'll give reference to them. Jesus is the rock of my salvation, his banner over me is love. Jesus is the rock of my salvation, his banner over me is love. Jesus is the rock of my salvation, his banner over me is love. His banner over me is love. Ask and receive that your joy may be full. His banner over me is love. The third verse would say, I'm sorry, pardon me. Excuse me again. He feeds me at the banqueting table, or his banqueting table. He feeds me at his banqueting table. His banner over me is love. His sheep love him and know his voice. His banner over me is love. Then repeat it 3 times. His sheep love me and know his voice. His banner over me is love. And then finally, Jesus is the way, the truth, the life. His banner over me is love. Jesus is the way, the truth, the life. His banner over me is love. Jesus is the way, the truth, the life. His banner over me is love. His banner over me is love. Once again, the website to purchase this book and other fine articles of Christian that help promote the Christian faith. livinghymns.org.